Alright, in this video, what we're going to go through is the item slot scene creation. So first things first, what we're going to want to do is create our scene. We're going to go over here to other node, and we're actually, instead of using just a control, we're going to use a button. We're going to go ahead and change the name of that. So again, F2 is the button key if you want to rename things using that. We'll press Control A, and we're going to add a texture rectangle, and we're going to change that name to icon, and that's going to hold the icon. And we're going to press Control A again, and we're going to add a label, which I mistakenly made a child of the icon, so I'll fix that in a minute. But we're going to change the name to quantity label, and then press enter. Let's drag this back up here so it's a child of the inventory slot. Click on inventory slot, press Control A to add a child node, and this time we're going to add a color rectangle, and we're going to rename this to be the highlight. Alright, so a few layout things to note. What we're going to do here is we're going to add, let's go to our scene so we can see it. Let's see. We need to change this to be full rectangle. Whoa, that might be too big. That might be too big. We'll see. But we are going to make it a custom size of 64, and we're going to change our icon. Actually, yeah, that's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and make some changes here. There we go. We're going to do the slots first, the custom. Here, there, everywhere. Alright, there we go. And then now we're going to take this icon, our texture rectangle, and that's going to be full anchored up. And let's see, what else do we need to do to this? Everything else is fine. Quantity label, this is going to be the right bottom, is how I prefer it. And that'll be fine like that. And then our highlight, again, full rectangle, so it covers the whole thing. And all of that should be changed now. Let's see, I think the only thing we're going to do on this one is change the color of it. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to change the color to maybe this yellow, drop the alpha down to about 130. And by default, we're going to turn off the visibility. So there's that. Let's go ahead and save that. So press Control S to save your scene here, and we'll create a new folder. So right click in there, create a new folder, inventory, and then in here, we'll leave it just inventory_slot. Press save, and that's fine. Let's right click on our inventory, or click on our inventory. I guess you could right click also and attach a script. We're going to just press this attach script button, and we're going to make sure that our path is directed to our scripts, our folder. So let's go up 1, 2, 3, scripts, UI, inventory, and then press open, and then create it. And now we have this. So from here, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to, let's see, create a couple signals. So these signals are really just so when it's hovered, it's going to show the tooltip, which you're going to create in here in another video. The unhovered, which will hide the tooltip, and then selected is when we click it to either use, swap, or equip, depending on what the item is. Now, we won't be getting into that into this part of the series. We'll probably do that later on down the road, because I still have to create a lot of the menus for equipment screens and stuff like that. So, but for now, we're gonna have it so that we can use it later on. Right, so it's gonna consist of a slot. It's gonna have a node, which is gonna and an item, which is gonna be a type resource, and then the quantity and an integer. There we go. All right. From here, what we're gonna end up doing is adding a few variables. So add on ready variable, icon, node, texture, rectangle is going to equal to icon, add on ready variable, quantity underscore label. The label is going to be equal to our quantity label right here, which we can take and drag right there. And then the reason why we put icon node is because we already defined icon earlier on in one of our global scripts. So that's why we did that in that manner, just so you guys are aware. Like, why didn't you just make it easier and put icon? That's why, because I tried icon earlier in the week when I was practicing this and messed it all up. So messed it all up. I was only barely at this part, but still. All right, and then we have our highlight. Let's see. So these are this is blah 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 blah. Make sure that your name items match the nodes here, otherwise it's gonna mess things up. Okay, so just keep that in mind, and I need to remove that space there. And might help if I put the right punctuation. There we go. Alright, so next we're going to add some variables for the slot states. So these are going to be private variables. So the item is the item inventory resource that's going to be shown in the slot. Then the quantity is going to be stack count for stackable items, and then we have this optional index, which is going to be where the slot lives in the grid, which will be useful for when we get to these item selection logic. Next thing we need to do is start coding some of the behaviors for it. So in our ready function, there you are, right here, we're going to go ahead and say custom. This is going to make sure just that our custom size is what we need it to be. When I was testing this, I had some issues with what is it called? The slots not filling the grid properly. So I went back and hard-coded things in here so that we could make sure that everything fit the way it was supposed to. So this, we can just copy these last two right here, and paste them right there, and that'll fix that. So this is going to make sure, like I said, that these are 64 by 64 and consistent, so that the grid cells have a consistent size and shape. It's going to keep the icons inside the button bounds by using clip contents, and then the size flags will let the slot expand nicely inside of our grid container to fill it up properly. What we need to do next is set the icon layout. So down here, what we're going to type in is icon underscore node dot set underscore anchors preset. Inside of here, we're going to say control dot preset, and we want the preset to be a full rectangle. Where are you at? There you are. Sorry, I had a hiccup there. And then icon underscore node dot stretch mode. Again, this is all just stuff that I hard coded because it just was not working with the normal settings. And maybe that's a skill issue on my part, but I chose to end up doing it this way because it wasn't working and this way worked. If you can get it to work without this, then by all means share your knowledge, because the only way we grow together is learning is by learning together, right? So and then for the texture angle or texture rectangle, I'm going to say ignore the size. All right, now we're going to do the same similar thing for the quantity and the highlight. So what I'm going to do is, instead I'm going to copy this to make our lives a bit easier, and we're going to just have some minimal changes here. So it's going to be let's see, quantity label, and we can actually just copy that and then paste, right? And then we're going to keep the anchor presets, but instead, and we're going to keep all that. We're going to keep, instead of stretch mode, we're going to use horizontal alignment. Get rid of that extra E, and we're going to say, I guess this one is a lot more changing, but horizontal alignment, right. And then we can just delete all that. And then the vertical alignment. Alright, so I lied, I apologize. There was a lot more changes in this, but please forgive me. Here we go. We want bottom. Alright, there's that. For the highlight anchor, we're going to just copy this one top part and delete that extra indentation, and we're going to say highlight right. That's going to do that, take care of that one, and then we're going to do highlight right dot visible, and we're going to set that to false, like so. Go ahead and save in case it crashes, because if you've been working in games for any sort of time, you know that these kind of things don't come without your risk of crashes, right? So what do I want to do next? I guess let's get into I'm going to do some initial visuals, right? So since we're still in the ready function, we're going to say icon node dot texture. We're gonna for now make that equal to null because the only thing that we got because we already got one that we're using. So we're gonna, by default, this is gonna clear everything, the icon, the quantity, all by default, and then we're gonna connect the built-in signals to it. No, and then quantity label visible is equal to false. There's the clearing. Now we have our signals that we're gonna be connecting. And then what else do we need to do? I guess I need to create these functions too, right? So I guess while I'm doing that, I'll go ahead and do that. So function on pressed void, and then this is gonna be the click. Right, so it's going to tell if it's been clicked, if the button's been clicked. Let's see. Emit self. There we go. You don't like it. Why don't you like it? Oh, whoops. That's why. There you go. Alright, next is going to be the mouse entered. And then it's going to throw a fit until I create the on mouse entered function, which is going to be the hovering. And then we need our mouse exited dot connect. It's going to be on mouse exited. Let's go ahead and create that. And so this one is going to be unhovered, and we're going to emit that signal. But this one is only going to be applied to itself, right? So, whoops. There we go. Alright. Let's see here. What else do we need to do? Let's go ahead and, I guess up above all this. So we got all that. That's fine. Let's create our data sets. So function set data new item resource, which is going to be of type resource. The quantity is going to be an integer and void, and then item equals new item quantity equals max 0 quantity. If the item is not equal to null, then we're going to do a thing icon node dot texture equals item dot get icon. So what we're doing here is we're going to assign the item, and then we're going to clamp the quantity to 0 or higher, right? If there's an item, it's going to pull the item, which is the part that I'm working on right now. And it's going to pull the item info, right? It's going to pull its icon, the stackable flag if it needs it, and then it's going to show how much there is only when it's stackable and if the quantity is greater than 1. If it's not, then we're going to clear the visuals, and we're always going to reset the highlight to off after updating. So that's how it's going to work by the time I'm done typing everything, just so you know. So stackable. Let's see. Why don't you like that? Too many arguments. What? No, it's not. Let's see. If it doesn't like it, then I'll adjust it, but it should work. We're already at 23 minutes. This is going to be another long one. And so this is definitely going to be a video on its own. I was originally thinking about combining this with the UI creation, but nope. So, if you are watching this, then on YouTube, then I will of course have the what's it called? The code snippets, or not snippets, the code for these videos, because it's going to be lengthy code and a lot of typing, so if you're not used to it, it can be daunting. But I'll have the code in the link provided in the last video, so I'll do that. If you're watching this on Udemy, whenever this comes out on there, then I apologize, they won't let me put hyperlinks. I will probably add them as resources, but if you're watching on Udemy, no cheating. No, I'm just kidding. It's not cheating, it's using your resources that you have. Alright, you really don't like that, so why don't you like that? Let's see. Doing arguments, a variable, stackable, type bool equals a bool, and item dot get stackable false. Is stackable included one? Something in there you don't like, so I gotta figure out what that is that you don't like. So let's see. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do instead. We're gonna do this. We're gonna split this into two because it doesn't like this. So we're gonna say, first thing is, we're just gonna get rid of all of that right there. Whoops. Let's say variable stackable value equals item dot get stackable. Let's say variable stackable called stackable. We're gonna set that. That's gonna be a boolean, and that's gonna be equal to true, and that'll fix that. All right. Something else that we're gonna need is, let's see. I don't know if we're gonna need anything else. Let's see. No, that should be fine right there. So, all right. So there's that. Do we argue? Yeah, I know. Blah 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 blah. And you didn't like it. I'm sorry. My bad. Please forgive me. All right. Yes, I did just apologize to Godot scripting editor because it did not like it. But I think that's it. That covers this video. We're already at 27 minutes, and a lot of it is me mumbling, so I apologize. In the next video, we're going to go ahead and knock out the inventory UI